Hey friends, hope you're all doing great. So, imagine a future where Earth becomes so messed up that it's barely livable anymore. Crops are dying off, food is running out, and crazy dust storms are constantly sweeping through towns like something out of an apocalypse movie. That's the world Interstellar throws us into, and it's kind of terrifying. This sci-fi epic, directed by Christopher Nolan, dropped in 2014 and blew everyone away. It has an IMDb rating of 8.6, cost $165 million to make, and made a whopping $764 million worldwide. Oh, and yeah, it won an Oscar and was nominated for 5. Not bad, right? Now let's dive into the story. In this bleak future, the world's priorities have totally shifted. The military has been shut down. Schools don't even aim to inspire dreams anymore. They test kids and decide who gets to go to college and who ends up being a farmer to help fight the global food crisis. Enter Cooper, our main guy. He's a former NASA pilot turned farmer, trying to make the best of things while raising his 2 kids, Murph and Tom, with the help of their grandpa, Donald. Cooper's haunted by his past flying days, especially a traumatic crash that still gives him nightmares. He also lost his wife to a brain cyst, which tragically wasn't detected because MRI machines are a thing of the past. But here's where it gets interesting. Murph, his daughter, believes her room is haunted. Seriously, she calls it the ghost. Books fall off shelves on their own and she's convinced something or someone is trying to talk to her. Cooper, being the logical dad, tells her there's no such thing as ghosts. But hey, if something is happening, let's use science to figure it out. So Murph starts investigating. She notes the patterns of falling books, suspecting it might be Morse code. And while that's going on, one morning, the family's driving when they get a flat tire, and suddenly out of nowhere, a drone flies overhead. Cooper goes full action mode, driving across fields, on a flat tire, just to chase this drone. He even lets his son Tom drive while he hacks into the drone's system. And yeah, he actually pulls it off. He manages to bring the drone down so they can repurpose its parts. Later at a local baseball game, everyone's enjoying a rare moment of peace, until sirens start wailing. A massive dust storm is rolling in. It's chaos. People are scrambling and the family barely makes it home in time. But when they get back, Cooper notices something eerie. The dust in Murph's room has settled in a strange, deliberate pattern. Not random at all. He analyzes it for hours and finally cracks it. It's not Morse code. It's binary. And it's giving him coordinates. Cooper, being the ex-pilot and naturally curious guy that he is, decides to check them out. He tells Murph to stay home, but of course she hides in the truck and tags along anyway. They arrive at a mysterious, fenced-off facility. Cooper cuts the gate and suddenly he's blinded by a flashlight, then tased. Next thing he knows, he's awake in some kind of secret base, being interrogated by a robot named Tars. Then we meet Dr. Amelia Brand, who just so happens to be the daughter of the brilliant Professor Brand, a legend in the science world. And surprise, Murph is totally fine and already hanging out with them. They reveal the big secret. NASA is still alive, in hiding, and they're working on a massive space project to save humanity. Professor Brand explains that Earth is on its last leg. The disease-killing crops called blight is also reducing the planet's oxygen. In short, humans are running out of time. Fast. Here's the plan. NASA has a mission called Project Endurance. Years ago, they sent 12 astronauts through a mysterious wormhole near Saturn, a shortcut to another galaxy. The idea? Find a planet that can support human life. Only 3 of those astronauts have sent signals back, meaning those 3 planets might be viable. The mission has 2 options. Plan A, launch the entire facility into space using gravity-based propulsion, still theoretical, bringing all surviving humans with it. Plan B, if Plan A fails, they'll send thousands of fertilized embryos to one of the habitable planets to start a brand new colony. But there's a problem. They need a pilot. A damn good one. That's where Cooper comes in. At first, Cooper's hesitant. He doesn't want to leave his kids. But when Professor Brand tells him that Murph's generation may be the last humans ever, Cooper realizes this mission might be the only chance to save them. And just like that, Cooper is back in the pilot's seat, literally, preparing to venture into the unknown in search of a future for all of humanity. So after discovering the NASA base and getting offered the pilot role in this interstellar mission, Cooper goes back home, but things aren't sunshine and rainbows. Murph, his daughter, is heartbroken. She knows something's up and begs him not to leave. She even cracks the ghost code in her room and insists that it's telling him to stay. But Cooper, determined to save the future for his kids, believes this mission is humanity's last shot. They have this emotional goodbye. He gives Murph a watch, explaining how time in space is different. He tells her they might even be the same age when he returns. It's sweet. But Murph is furious. She throws the watch away, and by the time she comes out to stop him, he's already gone. Boom! Rocket launch. Cooper blasts off into space with his crew, Amelia Brand, Doyle, Romilly, and the trusty robots Tars and Case. They dock with the massive Endurance space station, get things up and running, and prepare for a 2-year journey to Saturn. That means cryosleep for all of them. Before drifting off, there's this little moment. Cooper sends a video message back to Earth. But Murph? Still too angry to watch it. Brand, Amelia's father, sees potential in Murph and offers to mentor her. Meanwhile, back in space, the crew wakes up after 2 years and prepares to cross this mind-bending wormhole. Crossing it is wild. The ship shakes, lights flash, and Amelia swears she sees a figure that looks like a hand reaching out. Could it be some kind of alien handshake? Chills. Once through, they enter a new galaxy with 3 planets orbiting a massive black hole, Gargantua. The catch? One of the planets is so close to the black hole that 1 hour there equals 7 years on Earth. Talk about high-stakes decision-making. The crew debates their next move. Doyle is leaning toward Plan B, starting a new colony and letting Earth die. Cooper suggests a better route to avoid time dilation. Land on the planet from the opposite side of Gargantua. Romilly stays behind and the others head down. Now this planet is just one massive ocean. Cooper keeps the ship steady while Amelia, Doyle and Case go searching for signs of life, or more specifically, signs of Dr. Miller, one of the previous astronauts. They find her beacon wreckage, but something's off. Then it hits them. Those aren't mountains in the distance. They're waves. Giant, terrifying, tsunami-level waves. One's coming straight for them. Amelia, desperate to retrieve Miller's data, delays just a bit too long. She falls. Case turns into a spinning wheel of awesomeness and rescues her. Doyle tries to make it back to the ship, but doesn't make it. He's swept away. The wave crashes into the ship, flooding everything. They barely make it out. The ship is damaged. Doyle is gone. And worst of all, that brief excursion just cost them over 10 years back on Earth. Cooper is understandably furious. He blames Amelia for risking everything. But Amelia points out something haunting. Because of the time difference, Miller must have landed just hours ago in her own timeline. That's why her wreckage still looked fresh, even though years passed for everyone else. Remember that brutal water planet? Just as Cooper's crew thinks they've escaped the danger, another massive wave starts rolling in. Cooper kicks into pilot mode, gets everyone strapped in, and manages to pull off an insane maneuver to fly the ship up and over the wave. It's a close call, but they make it out. Alive, shaken, but alive. But when they return to their space station, time hits them like a punch to the gut. Because of the time dilation on that planet, 23 years have passed for Romilly, the scientist who stayed behind. He's aged, studied the black hole obsessively, but couldn't send any of his findings back to Earth. It's heartbreaking. Now Cooper rushes to check the messages they've received in all that time, and man, it's rough. He watches his son, Tom, grow up through video logs. He sees Tom become a man, get married, and even mention that Grandpa Donald has passed away. They buried him next to their mom. Then comes the most painful part. Tom tells Cooper that this is his final message because he's accepted that his dad isn't coming back. But it doesn't end there. A message from adult Murph shows up. She's grown up and bitter. She rips into her dad for leaving, pointing out something chilling. They're now the same age. She hangs up and we cut back to Earth. Turns out Murph is working with NASA now. Yep, she followed in her father's footsteps. And she's desperately trying to solve Professor Brand's gravity equation to save humanity. As she digs into the math, she realizes something's off. Something huge. Brand knew the equation was flawed, but he never said why. Meanwhile, back aboard the Endurance, the crew has to decide which planet to visit next. Amelia Brand wants to go to Edmund's planet, even though they haven't received transmissions from there in a while. Cooper pushes for Dr. Mann's planet, because Mann is still sending signals. Now, here's where things get awkward. Cooper accuses Amelia of being biased because she was in love with Edmund. Amelia doesn't deny it. Instead, she makes an emotional case that love, real, powerful love, could be a form of higher understanding, maybe even a reason to trust Edmund's planet. But no one's buying it. The team votes to go to Mann's planet. Amelia's not thrilled. She warns that if Mann's world doesn't work, they'll have to go with Plan B, colonizing Edmund's planet and leaving everyone on Earth behind. Billions would die. Back on Earth, Murph is racing against time. Professor Brand is dying in a hospital bed. Murph arrives in time to hear his final confession. Plan A was never going to work. They never solved the equation because the missing data lies inside a black hole and getting it is scientifically impossible. He knew all along. Brand dies. And Murph? She's devastated, but furious too. She records a message to Amelia accusing her of knowing about the lie. Meanwhile, the Endurance crew lands on Mann's icy planet. The landscape is haunting. Snowy peaks, harsh winds, and a strange silence. They find Mann, cryogenically asleep. When they wake him, he breaks down sobbing. He had given up hope. Mann starts showing them around the planet. There's no breathable air where they are now, but supposedly lower ground could sustain life. Just as they begin making plans, Tars, the robot, informs them Murph has sent a message. They play it. Everyone hears Murph's accusation. Amelia swears she didn't know anything, but then Mann drops a truth bomb. He did. He knew Plan A was a sham, but insists it was necessary. To save the species, sometimes you have to make sacrifices. Cooper is having none of it. He wants to go back to Earth. Murph, back home, confides in her colleague Getty. He thinks they should tell the world the truth, but Murph won't, because she still has hope. She believes the ghost from her childhood wanted her to finish this equation. She's not done. Back in space, Cooper is planning to leave Mann's planet. Romilly suggests an idea. Send Tars into the black hole to gather the data they need. Tars agrees. No hesitation. What a hero. Then Mann offers to help Cooper scout for a place to build new habitats. But something's off. As they walk along a cliff, Mann starts talking about the primal instinct to survive. And then, bam! He betrays Cooper. He removes his transmitter and shoves him off the cliff. Cooper barely survives, clinging to rocks. When Mann climbs down to finish the job, Cooper grabs him and they tumble down together. At the bottom, the truth comes out. Mann faked all the data. His planet is not habitable. He just wanted someone to rescue him. Back on Earth, Murph heads to her old bedroom, still chasing the mystery of the ghost messages from her childhood. Meanwhile, Getty, he's working with NASA, checks in on Tom's family. And yeah, they're not doing well. The air's making them sick. Getty begs Tom to leave like everyone else, but Tom's too stubborn. He actually punches Getty for suggesting it. Murph's had enough. She even accuses Tom of just sitting around waiting for his kid to die. Ouch. Tom kicks them out, but Murph has a plan. She drives straight into the cornfields and sets them on fire. Yep, just lights it up. That distracts Tom enough for Getty to sneak the family out, while Murph races back into the house. She's desperate now. She needs to find answers. Meanwhile, light years away, Cooper and Dr. Mann, remember him, the supposed hero they came to rescue, end up fighting. It gets brutal. Cooper gets the upper hand, but Mann smashes his helmet, exposing Cooper to the toxic atmosphere. Mann runs off, leaving Coop crawling for his life. He barely manages to radio Amelia for help. Thank goodness, Amelia and Case swoop in just in time to save him. As Cooper explains what Mann's really up to, Romilly is messing around with Mann's robot, and suddenly, bam, he finds out the truth too. But before he can do much, there's an explosion. Just as Amelia contacts Romilly, the whole base blows up. They rush back only to find rubble and fire. Tars comes racing out, but sadly, Romilly didn't make it. Mann, of course, has taken his own ship and is heading for the Endurance. Cooper tries to reason with Mann, pleads with him, but Mann's gone full rogue. Even worse, the auto-docking system on Endurance is offline, so Mann decides to dock manually. Terrible idea. Despite Cooper warning him again and again, Mann ignores all the alarms and attempts to dock anyway. And boom, the airlock explodes, ripping apart part of the station and sending debris flying. It's a disaster. Now Cooper does something crazy, like edge-of-your-seat kind of crazy. He chases the spinning wreckage, flies around the debris, and lines up to dock manually at high speed. Case tells him it's impossible. But Cooper, he nails it. With nerves of steel and genius pilot skills, he locks it in perfectly and stabilizes the station. But their celebration doesn't last long. Case breaks the news. They're headed toward the black hole Gargantua. The ship's beat up, navigation systems are toast, and Earth's out of reach. Their only shot? Use Gargantua as a slingshot to reach Edmund's planet. But to do that, they have to lose weight, and that means letting go of Tars. Amelia's heartbroken, but Tars is chill about it. He just wants to save humanity. So into Gargantua they go. The ship starts spinning up, bright light everywhere, and just as they reach max velocity, Tars detaches. It's emotional. But then, Case says Cooper's part of the station needs to detach too. Amelia's like, wait, what? Cooper calmly explains they don't have enough resources for both of them. This is his sacrifice. Amelia's in tears as he drops into the black hole alone. His ship shakes violently, the screen goes black, and then something strange happens. Cooper wakes up surrounded by flickers of light like glowing raindrops. The ship's burning from the gravitational pull. Everything's warping. Then he passes out. The computer wakes him up. Eject. He ejects and starts floating in this surreal darkness through a cold tunnel of lights. Eventually he finds himself in what looks like a massive endless corridor, made of books. Yeah. He's in the Tesseract, that mind-bending fifth-dimensional space. He looks through the wall and realizes he's back in Murph's childhood room, only on the other side of the shelf. He starts banging on the bookshelves, trying to reach her, and then it hits him. He was the ghost all along. So he spells out stay, hoping young Murph will somehow understand. It's emotional, it's trippy, and it starts tying all those early clues together. Cooper, floating inside that mysterious fifth-dimensional bookcase space, suddenly realizes something heartbreaking. He's watching his past self saying goodbye to young Murph. And it hits him like a freight train. Leaving her might have been a mistake. You can literally see the regret crushing him as he cries, helpless. But here's where it all clicks. Back in the present, adult Murph is pulling books off her shelf. She's been trying to make sense of this ghost from her childhood, and suddenly the light bulb goes off. The ghost was her dad all along. The chills, right? At that moment, Cooper connects with Tars, the robot still alive and has all the crucial quantum data. Tars explains that this whole space, the Tesseract, the timeline corridor, was created by future humans. It's like a giant time library where time is literally a physical dimension. And here's the twist. It was humanity itself from the future that made this place and sent Cooper back. So Murph could save the world. But not just anyone could do this. It had to be Cooper. Why? Because love, yep, love, is the bridge here. His deep bond with Murph is what allows him to navigate this space and get the message through. Now ready to act, Cooper asks Tars for NASA's coordinates in binary. He then sends that data to his past self through the sand in Murph's room, pressing against the gravitational waves like he's sculpting time with his hands. Then he turns his attention to Murph in the present, using the wristwatch he left her years ago. He transmits the quantum data from Tars through Morse code, ticking seconds on the watch. Murph notices, she understands. Her dad is alive, and he's sending her exactly what she needs. She runs out, overwhelmed and overjoyed, just in time to stop a fight between her brother Tom and Getty. Then she rushes back to Professor Brand's office. With the data from the watch, she finally cracks the equation. From scratch, this time for real. Plan A, humanity's escape, is now possible. She doesn't just solve the problem, she announces to the entire base, we're going to make it. The future is saved. Back in the Tesseract, Tars tells Cooper the plan worked. Mission accomplished. The dimension starts collapsing, and Cooper is engulfed in a bright light. As he floats away, he sees Amelia reaching out to him. And then, blackout. Cooper wakes up in a hospital room, and here comes the kicker. He's 124 years old. Yeah, turns out humanity made it off Earth and now lives on Cooper Station, a space colony orbiting Saturn. And get this, it's named after Murph, not him. She saved the world. Once he's recovered, Cooper explores the station. They've turned his old house into a museum. He even finds Tars, broken but fixable, and starts repairing him like old times. Then the moment we've all been waiting for, he sees Murph again. But she's old now, near the end of her life, and surrounded by her kids and grandkids. She's been in cryosleep, waiting for her dad to come back, and he finally did. But Murph, she's at peace. She tells Cooper no parent should have to watch their child die. It's her gentle way of saying goodbye and asking him to go, to find Amelia, so he does. Back out in space, Amelia has made it to the third planet. Edmund sadly didn't make it, but the planet is habitable. She's setting up base, preparing to raise the fertilized embryos, humanity's plan B. And Cooper? He steals a shuttle and takes off to join her, because love, again, is what drives him across the stars.